How we doing, guys?
Good. How do you weigh what you were able to evaluate individually on players versus going 0-4 and the struggles that you had in the preseason?
Well, I think most importantly, you're talking about the evaluations. The biggest thing we'll do now is cut our team down to 53 and then decide which 10 come back on the practice roster. And that's what a lot of what tonight was about. Obviously, we had to bring some guys in at the last minute to play, and sometimes that hurts continuity of things. We didn't play as well as we wanted to as a team, but the big thing with a game like this is to go back and watch the tape and watch individual guys. There's a lot of decisions we have to make here in the next 12, 24 hours, and so this tape will help us, will help guide us in making some of those decisions. I think a lot of individual players had good preseasons. I think they're ready to go. The biggest thing we have to do now is cut the team down the right way and then get ready to work on San Francisco.
Are you ready for the season as a team?
We will be ready. We have, we'll practice on Monday and then practice next week, and we'll be ready for the 49ers that following Sunday.
There was talk about, Steven said that Henry would play, and he didn't play. Can you talk about the decision?
Yeah, he wasn't going to play a lot. We had him slated to play possibly at most 6 to 8 plays or simply just warm up. And we decided after the warm up just to not play him. Similar situation with Mo Claiborne. We wanted to give those guys an opportunity if we could to just come out and have a little game action. But, we've had this situation a number of times in the past where you just make a decision that says, let's not play him in this kind of a situation. Let's give him, 10 more days before he's in a game situation. Hopefully that'll help.
Did you see something in the warm-up?
Not really. It was just a decision, and, we were going to be cautious with those decisions anyway. If they felt really, really good and we're ready to go, we're going to give them a chance to do it. If not, give the younger guys a chance to play.
But you did that Carr play, Brandon Carr, he got some snaps. Can you talk about him?
Yeah, again, because of the time he missed in the early part of training camp, his first action was just last week, so we felt like it was good for him to get out there. I think he ended up playing 8 snaps.
Larry played the whole first half. Was that just to kind of catch him up from what he missed earlier?
A little bit, yeah. He's behind on reps, so we felt like it was good for him to get out there. We needed a 7th lineman to play in the game, so it was good for him to play and just get some snaps underneath him.
Now the preseason's over. What's the mood of this team? What's your mood going into
Well, it's a challenging next day. A lot of guys put it out there. We've got 75 guys on our roster, and we're going to get down to 53. And, a lot of guys had their livelihood on the line tonight. And, we talked about the nature of a 4th preseason game, how it's a great opportunity for individual players to stick. And, a lot of those guys had that mindset tonight. And, again, we'll go back and watch the tape and see how they did and who ultimately makes the cut. And then we're going to get to work on the 49ers. We've had some practice time and walkthrough time against them here the last couple of weeks, but now our preparation really begins. And the group of men who are going to be with us in week 1 against the 49ers will be decided upon here in the next day or so, and then our focus will be forward.
I know you need to see the film, but did Vaughn hold the ball too long, or was it mostly just offensive line breakdowns while he went down?
Oh, combination of things. I think, there were some looks that we didn't handle very well at times. We didn't, identify the guys properly and get them blocked. And, sometimes that can be a challenge when you're playing different guys and different combinations of guys. And then at times, he was holding the ball, but I did think he did a pretty good job moving around and getting away from some pressure that was free in his face right away. So, again, we'll go back and watch the tape and evaluate why on each of those things. Like in most cases, it's a combination of things.
McClain appeared fast. His few snaps is out there. Can you talk about his game? Rolando McClain.
Yeah, again, we'll watch the tape. We wanted to give him a chance to play. For obvious reasons, he just needs to play in game situations. And, played the Mike linebacker position and, was only going to play in the early part of the game. It looked like he was moving around pretty well and was active.
Has Whedon shown you enough to make you comfortable with him as the backup going into the year? Brandon Whedon?
I thought Brandon did some good things tonight. I think he missed some throws, too. I thought the corner made a good play on the naked for the interception. He came off the outside receiver and intercepted that ball. Sometimes it's hard to see that guy. I thought he missed a couple throws, but he also made a couple throws. He cut the ball loose and made some big plays. I thought the double move up their sideline, was a good play for us to get a chunk on those guys. And so, I think he's played well at times. Other times you can see why he needs to play more. But we're certainly comfortable with him and confident in him. He does have to go play.
Did any of the quote-unquote bubble guys help themselves? I mean, it make this harder for you, or is it just a question of now what's going to be available to what you have?
Yeah, we just got to watch the tape. And, like we talked earlier, sometimes it's a competition within a position, and other times it's a competition across positions, where you say, hey, we're looking for that 51st, 52nd, and 53rd man. Okay, is it going to be X number of guys at this position or X number of guys at this position? And so that's really where the decisions become challenging, when you're saying, okay, who makes our team better? Who deserves to be a part of this thing? Who might we lose if we try to get them to the practice roster? Those are all the tough calls that we have to make here in the next day or so.
You talked about McClain earlier. Can you talk a little bit, you worked with some different linebacker combinations. Can you talk about how you opened tonight for the first couple of series and what you wanted to see out of those guys?
Yeah, we wanted to play Kyle Wilbur at the Sam and Rolando McClain at the Mike. We played Hitchens at the Will. And, each of those guys just needed some game snaps. Hitch has been playing a little bit of Mike, so we put him back at the Will spot. We wanted to see Rolando play, just get some snaps in at Mike, and Wilbur has not played as much Sam for a couple different reasons here in the last week or so. So we wanted to get him some snaps at the true Sam position, the position he played at the end of last year. So just wanted to see those guys, and then we rotated the young guys in after that.
How about Tanner coming in and obviously starts for you, and
Yeah,
what he's able to do?
he's an impressive kid. He really is, and it's easy to see why. He was a big part of our team the last few years. He's a real pro. I think he has some skill as a runner. He's just a reliable football player. He shows up on special teams, and was not with us until literally this morning, and came in, and there were a couple of times that the quarterback had to put him on the correct side or whatever in the shotgun, but for the most part he came in and just he didn't skip a beat, and really I thought he ran the ball well when he had some opportunities and some creases. Looked like he poured it up in there pretty good.
Can you talk about Hamilton's suspension and Webb's release?
Yeah, Jakar Hamilton was suspended for the first 4 games, and unfortunately for Jakar, he's a young developing player, and was really doing some good things at the early part of training camp, and has been out for the last couple of weeks, so that's hurt him. And obviously being suspended for 4 games is not good for our football team and good for his personal development. So we'll have to make some roster decisions in and around that. And then really the BW Webb release was about getting another defensive back who was healthy, who could play, and getting a running back in here who could play. We released Benford yesterday, and we just needed to be able to function in this game. So we had to make sure we had the requisite number of guys at those 2 spots.
Going back to the linebackers, do you know how you open at linebacker? Certainly Hitchens had been starting or been allowed to start, but he didn't get the action tonight in the middle. Is McClain going to open and start, or are you going back to Durant, or have you even decided those things yet?
We haven't made that decision yet.
Jason, those conversations you're going to have about cutting guys, how difficult is that? Part of the job, obviously. Oh,
absolutely. It's a challenging week. We had 90 players on our football team when we started the week, and then we went to 75, and now we got to go to 53 in a short period of time. And these guys have really put it out there. Their dreams and their aspirations since they were this high, to play in the National Football League. And to a lot of them, we're going to tell them tomorrow that it's not going to be with the Cowboys in 2014. But there's so many great stories in the NFL of guys who don't make it in one place, and somehow, some way, they land on their feet either at that place at a later date or in another team. And really appreciate the effort of all these guys. And we tell them that. The number of guys who came in and made our football team better because of how they worked each and every day, is greatly appreciated, and they positively impacted our team. But unfortunately, they all can't stay. It's just the nature of this business.
Do you practice on Saturday?
We're not going to practice on Saturday.
So the first practice won't be until Monday?
Right. The players will be in tomorrow. They're going to lift and run, and we'll have a team meeting, and then they'll be off Saturday and Sunday, and we'll practice again on Monday morning.
Are these decisions hard because you have more than 53 guys that deserve to be here, or hard because you have to project guys that haven't played much, haven't played at all, to fill out these last 6, 7, 8 roster spots?
Oh, I think they're a combination of things. I mean, we believe we have guys who are worthy of making this football team. You saw a lot of those guys out there tonight. Guys who made plays and really were kind of sticking their hand up in the air and saying, hey, I deserve to be here. And unfortunately, some of those guys aren't going to be able to be with us. So that's what makes it hard. Other things that make it hard are guys that we don't have available right at the outset who will hold roster spots that we think will have an impact on our football team as we go forward. So those are all the decisions you have to make, and there are a lot of young players who we feel good about that you'd like to put in a practice squad situation, but you want to make sure that you keep their rights. So that's another level of decision that you have to make. Which of these players is attractive to another team and you might lose? You like to put them in that practice roster role and continue to develop them and bring them up to the 53 when you think they're ready.
One of those spots, tough decision to make a receiver with Newsom and Bird and those guys.
I think those receivers did a really good job. I think they competed hard and well, and we'll have some good discussions about those guys, distinguishing themselves from each other, but also across positions.
Has Klutz done enough to make this team?
Klutz is a good football player. He's done some good things for us. He's the only true fullback we have on our roster right now. So there's certainly a role that he has there. And we're not going to share with you who's made it and who hasn't made it tonight. We'll do that over the next couple of days. But he's certainly been a good contributor to our team. There's no question about that.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. You guys have a good night.